I mean, deal with it.
And we're back.
We'll give you some channel point buffs.
Thanks. I should mention, though, that I do have an emergency way out, so.
Sure.
Emergency way out if you know what's going on, though. And I don't think you know what's going on yet.
I have an emergency way out for a lot of things.
All right, who cares about this stupid game you're talking about? Let's get back to the real thing. Where's Morin? I gotta fucking smack down.
Yeah, who cares about that stupid game? Let's get back to this stupid game.
So, you are standing in front of the temple, preparing to head inside.
Before I go here,
okay.
The exposition of this is Gulran wants to. I mean, I don't have a house. I want to find a mirror.
You do
somewhere.
have a house.
We all got houses, right?
Yeah,
right. But I thought I rejected it because I got the temple and stuff. But okay, whatever.
No. You can't reject it.
All right. So I'm going there. I hope there's a mirror in here.
Yeah.
All right. I look in the mirror and I want to see every Shashat piece of gear I have on.
Yeah.
From my memory, I believe that's
you have
definitely my
the
cloak.
armor, the cloak.
Yeah.
You had the holy symbol, but you do not have it on you anymore.
Yeah, that's in my bag now.
So
it's almost. Sorry, you said it's on my breastplate.
It is on your breastplate.
All right, I take that off. Is there a symbol on my shield? I can't remember if I got
the
it.
The shield is like the holy symbol. Is a holy symbol of Shashat.
All right, I'm equipping that, and I'm putting it like nicely on top of the breastplate. I fold the cloak of resistance in like a. I want to do like a 4-point fold kind of thing, where like it folds up nicely into like a, to become a smaller square kind of thing. Put that on top of the shield. I remember these boots of the earth that he found for me. I don't remember if they had a symbol in place.
These did not have a symbol in place. You just got very fortunate that they had them.
Yeah, and I bought this belt in the dwarf city, and I look at my ring. Is there any inscriptions of shot on that?
Nope.
I look under my headband of wisdom. Is there Shashat?
There is not.
Okay. Gulran would like to, so he has basically the breastplate, the shield on top of it, and his cloak folded nicely on top of that. And then he'll just be like carrying that towards the church.
Okay.
Actually, he'll put his symbol on top of the cloak as well.
Yeah, so you'll be standing there in front of the church. The doors are open, and Moirin will see you from a distance as he's walking about. And I'm presuming you head in?
Yeah. Gulran will probably look very solemn, and we'll seek out Moirin.
Yeah.
And
he'll come straight to you as you come in. And as soon as he sees the things in your hand, he will like lose the normal kind of like bright look of that his face normally has. Well, you're not here for good news, are you?
No, Moirin. Is there somewhere private we may speak?
Yes. Come with me.
Follow him.
It finally got to you, did it?
I look for a spot to put these down. Is there like a bench or a table?
Yeah, there's like a number of shelves that you can set it down on.
So I set the items down and I say, I want you to know I tried to reach out to her, and I tried to speak to you about it, but you weren't being honest with me, and you know something's happened.
What do you want me to do? I'm not hearing her either. No one's hearing her.
But did you hear another voice?
Yes, an imposter. I know who she is, I believe. Remember when you questioned me as to whether or not I had skills and whether or not you were able to do things I could not?
I remember a little bit differently, but sure, go ahead.
I have spoken closer to her than you have, I'm fairly certain. Because I have spoken to her.
And what, you feel comfortable with her? You refer to her as an imposter?
No, not the voice that I hear now, the voice which goes by the name of Mistress. But I speak of Sashat. It has been a
Speak
very
of
long
Sascha.
time, but a very long time ago.
Hmm.
There were words I had with Sascha, and words of this mistress.
Really? Well, what did she say?
She is a passing fancy, but linked indirectly to Sascha.
Hmm.
There is not much time left, my boy. If no one can ascend to take the place of Sascha, the followers will leave. There will be no more Sascha.
You don't think this mistress will ascend to take her place?
The mistress is her own god. Well, she seeks to be her own god. She seeks to scoop up the followers of Sascha, but they will not be followers of Sascha anymore. They will be followers of the mistress.
Hmm.
In my opinion, we live in a dangerous time. A time where the defense of knowledge will come to an end.
Hmm.
Where we will be left with Suinul the inactive and Thoth the taker. Is this the world you want to be living in?
No, there is a new god, or an old god. I don't know if you've researched half of your heritage. I speak of, I don't know if you've heard of his name, Kraskaran.
You speak of deep creatures.
So you have heard of him?
Words here and there from the occasional historian, I guess you could say. My Moirin is really breaking here.
The problem I have, Moirin, is you saved me as a child. And like a child, I followed what my would-be parents, you, believed, which was Sascha. Her teachings were good, and I enjoyed them, and I benefited from them, and I don't deny that. But this mistress, Sascha's absence, it's not me, Moirin.
I know it's not, and I understand where you're coming from. I myself am trying to hold out hope. Hope that another will ascend. But ascension usually never happens. There are many gods that have disappeared because none have come to take their place. And so much so that we are left with Ganthet, and Myatt is gone. No one remembers. Yes.
I saw symbols of him or her, I don't know gender. I saw symbols of this god in the Dwarven city.
Yes,
Myatt.
some of them still hold true to the old gods, but many of them are worshipping the dead, essentially. Might as well be making prayers to Delanrian.
Well, in my hour of need, Kraskron aided me. He gave me strength and insight, whereas Sascha remained silent. The mistress did offer me aid, but at costs that I did not feel comfortable paying.
My boy, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been waiting for this day to come since I stopped hearing her voice. It was only a matter of time. You're always welcome here in the church, and it would do me great honor if you would continue to wear Sascha's armor, but you would ask Kraskaran if he would accept what you're doing. You don't have to wear it and say that she means something to you, but you wearing it will mean something to us.
Like I said, Sascha played a role in my life. I don't blaspheme her at all. I need someone on the other side to give me aid, and with her absence, perhaps when I commune with Krauskaran, perhaps he can offer aid here and give defense. He's about strength and unity, and perhaps he can offer safety to protect Shashat's followers until someone comes to claim them.
I refuse to give up. The faster we give up, the less time we have. It's only a matter of time. Every follower that leaves takes us one step closer to a throne that cannot be filled. We cannot let Anher sit alone. He must at the very least have our voices.
So you plan to move the followers to Anher?
No, I plan to keep the followers here. I will watch as they leave, but I will keep this alive. So long as we believe I have not lost it all. But I understand you are out there in the field every day. You need a god that is there when you need them, all the time. You cannot have one that isn't there and one that is trying to deceive you. If this Krauskaran is something you believe in, I will not argue with you to follow it, but I will not follow it myself.
Of course.
I will look to the day when either I will be powerless or when I will be re-empowered.
That's your choice, of course.
Aye. And it's one I am willing to make, and one I was willing to make when I took on the role as father of this church.
An honorable man.
Or foolish.
For a better mentor.
Thank you. I couldn't ask for a better pupil. You're doing good work. I think you made the right decision. You didn't end up in the arms of the mistress. And I think that's better for both of us.
Aye.
But you're a stubborn fool. But less stubborn than I. But more fool.
Perhaps. I did try to hold on to Shashat as much as I could, but...
You did good. You did very good. And if it all falls apart, I don't blame you for it. Do better for the world, because that's far more important than squabbling over which god you need to follow.
It's true. Above all else, I do hold keeping the country at large safe and protecting those lives I can save.
Thank you. Couldn't ask for better.
But I will take the amulet off the top of the pile of stuff I have here and hand it to him and say, Krauskaran, I think, definitely doesn't want me wearing this one.
No, you cannot wear this amulet if you're not devout. The amulet will reject you. If you leave it on for long enough, it will actually invert your skin.
Ah. Well, hopefully this will lend aid to another follower who's held on to their faith.
I don't know that I'll find one as devout as you are. They must be quite devout. I will not wear this. If it is my time, it is my time. I shouldn't be out on the battle lines anyway. He pats his belly. Not a lot of agility here. Speaking of, I believe it's time to eat.
I was going to ask you, is there a way to get a permit to build a church here?
That's a bit of a difficult request. You'll have to get at least 6 of the churches to agree first that you can even petition. You need to make them all believe that what you have before you is a real god. And once you've done so, once you've proven to at least 6 of them, you can begin the establishment of it. And I will tell you what, he walks over to a drawer in the distance, opens it up, and pulls out a form. And he will write down a couple of things on the piece of paper, and then he will sign at the bottom. He'll light a candle for a moment, wait for it to drip a bit, and then drip a bit of wax in, and press his ring into the wax. And then wait a moment for it to dry, and then hand you the paper. And I'll be your first. If Kraskaran be what you want to bring here, I support it. Shashat would support it if she were still able to speak it.
I don't know what to say.
You've already said all you need to say. You're gonna keep up the good fight. That's what I asked for from you, and that's why I gave you what I gave you.
Of course. How does one prove? How do I prove to the others about Kraskaran?
Through deeds. Do good things in the name of Kraskaran. They will have no ability to argue you. Well, except Thoth.
Fuck Thoth.
Don't let any of them get into any. Don't let any of them get any idea of how many signatures you got.
Right. There was a quick matter I thought I should discuss with you.
Or Ryoshin. Careful around those Ryoshins.
Oh,
things catch fire when you're around them.
Yes, yes. Speaking of the wonderful Thoth, I believe I've angered him quite a deal. He's threatened me directly. Should I?
What did you do? What unknown knowledge did you uncover? Wait, no. Do not inform me.
He told me whoever I tell will be on his hit list as well.
Yes, and for me that would be a very optimal excuse.
Yes, I don't plan on dragging anyone down with me with this, but...
I suppose then you're not entirely familiar with There are rules that the gods must follow. Thoth has a number of asterisks he's been able to put into the rule system. One of them is that anything he erases is knowledge others are not supposed to have. But he doesn't always do the best job erasing it. Many have said that he deliberately leaves clues around, so he has a reason to continue to meddle in the affairs of the people down here.
Definitely seems like that's the case.
Well, it's also known that Shashat gives you powers to reach beyond that of Thoth's. So it could be a little from column A and a little from column B.
A little spite at her ex-husband.
Yep.
In fact, I believe I used her powers she granted me, or to followers of her, to gain this knowledge, actually.
Wouldn't surprise me. Listen, I love Sashat, but she's a spiteful little bitch. You should see some of her female followers. I tell you what.
True, but she was married to Thoth, so you know what they say.
Takes one to love one.
No.
Oh.
I was gonna say it's the classic one where Thoth probably goes around saying all his exes are crazy, but he's probably the one who made them crazy.
I'd say that's probably fairly true.
Yes.
Supposedly he had a thing with Ather at one point, and...
Ooh.
Yeah, well... He's tried to make his way around... He's tried to make his rounds from what the old god rumor mill is, but... You know, people say a lot of things about gods.
Well, a little bit more seriously, this mistress sounds like she would be not opposed to this. Are you scared of all that? Sounds like she'd definitely get with Thoth.
Well, the way the mistress talks about things when she's suggesting things, she's just all about trying a lot of things. Some of the people that have come in here asking about things that Shashat wouldn't normally tell them to ask about. It's getting very uncomfortable in here. It'll only be a matter of time before someone's asking me to sign a petition. A lot of people doing a lot of weird things lately.
I don't envy your job.
I don't envy yours either.
I will continue to wear these items of Shashat proudly. And I will commune with Kraskaran and ask his blessing to do so further.
And I will work with you to make sure Krasgran gets the temple here. If he wishes to bring himself to the surface, then I wish to help him bring himself.
Well, he didn't directly tell me. He just seemed like a good idea to spread some information about this god who.
If he offered himself to you, then I'm sure he doesn't just wish to remain in the depths.
Yes, I believe so. Doesn't seem like he's a very boastful god that he wants all this attention, but he seems like he wants to help people.
Agreed. How about a send-off dinner?
Yes, of course.
Are you free tonight?
Did Niev say she was doing this dinner with us all yet? Or she
yeah, I did. But
and it was tonight, or was it?
I was planning it for after your conversation with Moirin because I assumed it wouldn't go that well.
Yes, you've told Guran this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moirin, I'm sure Niev would understand, but she's throwing a dinner party. Why don't you come with me?
Ah, yes! That sounds wonderful!
She specifically said she didn't want to bring anyone, but I think she'll understand. I don't normally bring anyone.
Very good, very good. I look forward to it.
Yes. Last time that she had an unpleasant goblin attend that I was not a fan of, so this should be fair game.
Ah, very good. Wait. Goblin friend?
Not of my friend, but...
Well, word has it that one of your people has been hanging around with that guy, Ziegler?
Zigmar?
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's our elf.
Be careful. That Zigmar is up to no good, I tell you.
Yes, I tried to tell everyone that, but no one believes me.
I keep him out of our gardens constantly.
Yes, he was a thing at the last party, but he won't be there this time.
Good. Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing you tonight then. Yes. I'll bring my bib and my belly.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you there. And Gloron will take back his items, leave the necklace, obviously. And yeah.
Man, and you guys thought I was gonna have Moirin be mean.
I was ready to get stripped. But if we still have some time for me, I will try to commune with Krasgran. I don't expect his voice or answer, but I'll just say I'll kneel at I guess he doesn't have an altar or anything here yet.
Nope.
What is my house made of?
Your house is made out of stone. Yeah.
But they can be pissed if I fuck with it. Is it like a rental?
It's
or
your
is it
house.
Based on it was mine, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So just so I get the layout when I'm walking in, is this joined walls or is it a separate little?
They are separate. You have a little bit of yardage on each side and in the front and the back.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna use stone shape, and I'm gonna try and recreate. So we know this is not a lot of stone now, so I'm just trying to scoop out a little bit of a wall. I don't have knowledge engineering where I would think would not destroy the house, and try to recreate a little because I do have an effigy of Krasgran.
Yeah, I think you can do an okay job. You don't have engineering, but the intent in this case is probably more valuable than the result.
Yeah, and as I'm thinking about things, I remember you told me I had the thought that I could one time prepare lesser share experience. I'm assuming that is gone, right?
That is gone.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, once you dismiss the mistress, that power is gone.
Yeah. So now that I've created my crude little statue to Krasgran, I'll kneel before it and offer prayers to Krasgran, and Goran will bow his head, and this is silently in his head. He'll be saying, Krasgran, I've given myself to you. With my old mentor's blessing, he wants me to keep wearing these symbols of Shashat. If I have your blessing, I will continue to do so as a symbol of where I came from. But with time, I hope to eventually have some permanent fixtures to you in this daily life I live, and perhaps in my future acquisitions of gear that helped me do what I need to do will be in your glory. And Gloron will just kind of bow his head in silent prayer for a few more minutes, and then get up and.
I want you to give me a knowledge religion while you're doing that.
Sure. Just so you know, Goron has tried. Every skill rank he has gone into religion.
No, I know. Your rolls sometimes are interesting for storytelling purposes. So yeah, you get up. You feel your prayer was heard. But you there's no real outward response. But you weren't really going into it expecting that.
Yeah, exactly. I get up. I don't feel like I've offended him, or I feel like the anger of the god against me or something like that. I don't feel Okay. I also don't feel like his blessing as well, though.
Yeah, this is like I'm indifferent to this situation.
Right. And then in terms of, I guess, just the lore behind this, so I picked those 2 new domains. Does this manifest to Gluron? Like, does he realize he's lost these Shashat abilities and now has these new things?
Yeah, so these are sort of divine to you as you awaken and as you're doing your daily hour-long meditation. These ideas of you realize that you can no longer kind of peer across great distances. You instead will perceive these new abilities that kind of come to you in the vein of Krazkaran.
Okay.
And what domains did you end up picking?
I picked the honor and resolve domains.
A little bit of resolve is what you need now.
So just a quick for the party, I now have, instead of touch of truth telling or the lore thing, lore keeper I think it was called, I have a strength surge, which is kind of obsolete if you give her bull strength because it's an enhancement bonus, I believe, so it won't stack, I don't think, anything. But it could be good for myself. But the real cool one that is actually going to maybe come into play here is honor bound, which is I can touch people and give them a new saving throw against enchantment or charm or compulsion effects, not just spells, like effects. Yep. And if it's on me, I get an immediate action to do it to myself. Which is pretty fucking cool, I think. And it's really I didn't even know about this, so it's kind of cool. And it's very cross-crony. It's keeping my resolve to this. And then later, which is I think I've told everyone this, my favorite spell is Sanctuary. And later I get, next level, I get an AoE Sanctuary for everyone. Which is, it's not that good because if you guys attack, it goes away. But it's if we need to run, I can actually, remember before I was trying to Sanctuary us individually to run away? So things probably couldn't hit us.
So you didn't die to Assassin Vines or to those archers?
Exactly. So now, if I had this in that situation, I could have just thrown it on. We're all sanctuaried and we just fucking run or whatever. It's also good for anyone who's just planning on not attacking and just holding your ground. When we were all in the back trying to help Ivy against all those archers, I could just AoE sanctuary us, and if you didn't want to attack, you'd be safe and stuff like that. So, well, not safe. They'd have to pass a will save. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to that. So.
All right.
Yes.
Niev, you had a question that you can ask. Have you thought of it?
I think so.
What do you got?
So I want to know, who do the Druids of Sierra Savant worship?
Ooh, so the Druids within Sierra Savant actually do not worship any of the gods. The Druids of Sierra Savant are entirely nature bound. The country of Sierra Savant is built on a very powerful series of ley lines, and in the divine construction of the land and in the arcane construction of the land, because as you're looking at the histories, Sierra Savant was not originally a continent. It did not exist before. It was a manufactured continent designed by the wizards that once governed it to be a safe haven against all of the garbage that existed in the outside world. The demons, the devils, all of the other creatures that would cause problems. And the idea was, if we let people grow together and we create a society where rules are better, where magic is more prevalent, where people are allowed to act for themselves, eventually society will organize itself in a better way. In that, the druids were able to commune with a nature that was more interactive. So in praying to nature itself, nature actually provides you with abilities and powers. This is why, as you're noticing right now, you're seeing fae that are much different than the fae you're used to back home. This is why you're seeing creatures in the woods that seem a little bit stronger than the creatures you saw back home.
All right. That's something that she was very curious about. I mean, she's really curious about the differences between druids there and druids here. So, I think at the end of the day, since she had such a hard time in the library, she might see about maybe during the rest of her time off, maybe finding an employee manual or something to go over that part of what she was wondering about. But she was, I think, above anything, she's just really curious about how the druids here, and how they behave, and how their society is ordered, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then Ivy, after your discussion with Tehran, what did you want to do?
The next thing I want to do is before the dinner party, I'm going to wait until Antaeus is back home and actually go talk to him a bit.
Okay. In between, then, Antaeus, what do you want to do?
Oh, well, just a few minor things. I've got to go set up an account, a business account. And then,
so you can head on out to the city hall, and you can pick up the required forms. There are some things that you are required to have in order to start setting this up. You need a name. You need at least 2 or more owners of the business. It cannot be a single individual that owns the business. And you must have an insignia provided in the form of a signet upon wax. These are the minimums you need, and a place that you are creating as the home of your business.
And it can't be a residential area?
It cannot be a residential area.
Drats.
But you do know somebody who knows something about having their own business.
Excellent. I should go speak with him.
Okay. So you can go find Zigmar's.
So it is Zigmar's, right? As in...
It is... Let me double check.
I thought it was Zigmar. But I want to change my notes if it's...
It is Zigmar's with an F.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, if it isn't you again, how you doing, buddy?
Man, well, it is, doing okay. How are you?
Business goes as business goes.
Yes, it does. Speaking of which, I'll, pull out the form.
I wondered. You've been operating on your own for a while. I figured you probably should tighten up the reins if you're going to get serious about this.
Indeed. I have a few ventures I'd like to spread out into, and having a business account seems like it would be something that would be beneficial, something rather than a personal account that I could have funds deposited into.
So what are you thinking for a symbol?
Well, I hadn't really thought that. I'm not very visually creative.
Oh, I'm not particularly either. I went with this, and he'll show you his ring, and it just is a tongue, it's like he had somebody draw out his outstretched tongue.
I'm gonna try to crudely replicate that in my notebook, so the next time I find a body of a creature outside of town, I know what I'm trying to put the symbol on. Oh, that is much different than. Anyways, yes. I suppose I should probably commission some sort of artist or something to do this.
It is usually the best way to do it. I did have to have somebody custom draw this. I had to sit around for a little while.
I figured I would just go with something very simple, maybe the initials or something. I don't.
That's so boring.
Do you have a better a better alternative in mind?
I don't know. What feels real to you? What feels Antaeus to you?
Like books.
Like, I chose my tongue because it is what I do. I talk and things happen. And other things happen.
Now, if you really wanted that to be your symbol, probably should have made it out of silver.
It is.
Is it?
He'll push the ring up closer to you. You figure it's probably because it's very dirty, but maybe that's silver? It seems like maybe he never takes this thing off.
Oh. That's a little...
It's very tarnished.
I'll move back a little bit when I see that. Yes. Well, I suppose that, I don't know. I suppose I can always change it later, right? I just need something temporary at the moment.
No, you need to make sure you pick the right thing first. Otherwise, you're going to have to reincorporate all over again. Seems kind of pointless if you do it wrong.
I suppose... that's so much work. I suppose I'll have to do this. I'll have to give it a couple of days and work on this. But now I do need a place to use as a business front and another person to sign off on this.
Well, I know just the person to sign off on it with you. And I know just the place you can use as a business front.
Perfect. I'm assuming
How are you about hollowed out, partially run down buildings that nobody pays attention to?
Seems like a place that nobody would pay attention to. Sounds perfect.
Well, let me show you a place. Follow me.
All right.
And
I suppose while we're on the way, I'll kind of talk to him about the particulars about what he wants for signing off on this. There's definitely going to be a catch.
Well, let's be clear. There's a bit of a mutual benefit for me here if I have another company I can move some things through periodically. All I'm asking is that every once in a while you sign a few documents just to make sure it's not just me putting my name on everything that passes through the company, or one of the other 6 people that normally does it on the other end of things.
Now, would it have to be
fair.
me specifically, or would it have to be a representative of the company?
Needs to be a high-level representative of your company.
Excellent. So that way, if something were to happen and if they were to get found out, that I would be able to say to save face that we would investigate the matter and take the proper precautions.
Well, just be careful with the idiots you hire, because sometimes you hire the wrong idiot, they start asking questions, and then the next thing you know, you got yourself a whole fruit salad you got to deal with.
Yes, that's true. I just want to make sure that I would not be the one to be implicated immediately if...
Yes, and if you end up in a fruit salad situation, you are the one that's implicated. See, the thing about fruit salad is, most people really only want one of the things in the fruit salad. They don't want everything. And so they pick apart all the things they don't want until they get the thing that they want. And that's usually the thing that the fruit salad's really about.
Sure. I suppose.
Nobody really wants cantaloupe.
Is that a thing people put in a salad?
A fruit salad, yeah. People put a lot of nasty things in a fruit salad.
I enjoy it.
Then they put nuts on it. Sometimes. Or whipped cream.
What about those?
Then they call it like a parfait, I think. Yeah.
Salad.
Elves and, I'm sorry to be offensive, but elves and humans and other types that like those fruits really doesn't make any sense.
That's understandable. I didn't grow up around too many of my kind, so that makes sense.
Anyway, here we are. And he points to what looks like a building that's probably been blown up, burnt at least 2 or 3 times, and had at least 2 or 3 objects fall through the roof. This is the place. I sublease this out to 12 other agencies, so you can have one of our offices in here. And he'll walk you in, And there's like, there are walls that are put up with doors on them. And they have like a top on top of them that doesn't look like it's roof structure. It just looks like somebody put something up against the wall. And he'll walk you over to one of the doors. This'll be yours. And he'll open up the door of this just barely covered up, almost closet-sized room.
I suppose for legal purposes, that's all I need.
It does satisfy all the prerequisites for a business. It has a door, it has a roof, it has walls, it's in a location, and I own it.
Excellent. Huh.
And you pay me rent, and it's all yours.
That's where I was going to next, because I assume that there's some sort of rent fee on this.
There will be. I'll make this real easy for you, though. Real easy. So first of all, every once in a while, I need a little something. And you happen to have some of it.
Now, when you say something, you're speaking specifically about the things that we've dealt in the past, correct?
Of course.
Just making sure there would be no surprises in these some things that you're asking of me.
Nope, I need myself. What was it? I don't remember what it's called now. He took.
Was it it was one of the? It was like the blood.
The inspiration
extract?
dust. It's inspiration
Okay.
dust. You get me a dose of inspiration dust every month, and I'll take care of you.
That seems extremely reasonable.
I know it does.
Excellent. I can work with that.
And one other thing. You gotta keep putting in good words for me.
With specific people, I'm assuming?
Of course. Oh, and maybe one more thing. I noticed you guys have a lot of, like, little get-togethers. I want to know whenever you're having one.
Well, Niev is the one that would be in charge of those, so it would be best to speak to her about those.
Well, then I suppose I should know when they are so I can go speak with her about them.
She has one coming up soon. I don't know the exact details of when.
Well,
so
let's head on over there.
Oh, we're doing this together then.
Well, we can head over and ask. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with us asking.
I'm sure there is nothing wrong with you asking.
Look, all I'm asking is that you let me know so I can ask. That's it.
That's fair. If she gives you the okay, then that's her prerogative.
Right. I just offer the tongue and let time do the rest.
Well, I don't know if she'd be as receptive to that as Brianna, perhaps, but I suppose you could offer it.
I meant that in a different way, but I appreciate you recognizing a good joke.
Oh, yes. Ha ha ha. I'm trying to pick up on your more subtle, less subtle.
Yeah, it's less subtle.
Windows. Yes.
Subtly unsubtle. That's my thing.
I suppose we should go confirm with her. I don't want to, overstep my bounds.
All right. So the two of you can head over. And I think, Ivy, you're probably... Are you, waiting to talk to Antaeus? Are you, gonna go by his place and check in periodically? Or are you just gonna wait till stuff tonight?
I'd probably go by... I'm trying to decide if I would actually be waiting. I mean, I have no concept of, what he's doing today or how long he's gonna be gone, so I don't think I would literally just wait. But I think I would be checking in periodically to, our houses are near each other, so I figured I'd just be doing stuff around my house and just periodically, basically checking to see if it looks like he's, come back yet or not.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Yikes. Well, I don't have negatives to it anymore. Character sheet, can you open, please? Thank you. +1. Oof. Yikes.
Yeah. So you're probably in the backyard when Zigmars and Antaeus make it to Niev's front door. And Niev,
Whoa.
you're just back from the library, and there is a...
It's a little early for everybody. I guess I'm in the middle of food prep.
Mhm.
Or no, you said I just got back from the
Yeah,
library.
you might be
setting
back for a
things
little
out.
while, but yeah, you're probably starting like the process of putting the things on the counter.
Sure. So I'll answer the door.
I'm going to actively look like I'm not interested in selling this, but I'm going to stand behind him so he doesn't notice it as much.
Hello, dear friend.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty well. How are you?
Great. You know, I was just thinking it's been a long time since we hung out. Perhaps if you're free tonight, we could hang out, talk about some things.
I'll look at Antaeus. Hang on, I've got to do like a sense motive for this.
Mm-hmm. Gauge.
Oh, that's right. I'm like, where is it?
Yep. Yeah, you're getting the idea that somebody spilled the beans.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I could put a few more on. You like fruit parfaits?
What?
Yeah, fruit salad.
It looks over to you. Did you tell her?
I didn't say anything to her. I suppose that.
Wait, this is the one that was. Wait, you got pointy ears now. What is going on?
Yes, I'm an elf.
Oh, does that mean everything's fruit?
No, we've also got eggplant parmesan, mushroom ravioli, some garlic bread.
I like mushrooms. I'm down.
Okay.
And she
well-
has a compost garden as well.
Oh yeah, I do. Composting's very big with me.
Well, my new rentee is really excited.
Oh, rentee are you Antaeus? Are you renting something?
Yes, for a business account, I need a place of business, and cannot be a residential area. And as I don't own any other land, Zigmar was kind enough to allow me a small place that would meet the regulations necessary.
Well, I suppose you are business partners. That makes sense.
Well, and I suppose as a business expense, is there something that we should bring to this
Now you're understanding why you always bring a gift to a party.
this housewarming celebration? Anything specific, given the nature of the guests? I'm gonna kind of like look down at the back of his head, and then back up at her as I say that.
Listen, I'm gonna be bringing something. It'll be quite good, I promise.
I seem to recall you brought something quite good last time as well.
I always do.
I
If I'm gonna be
apologize.
the uninvited guest, I might as well make it worth being there.
Oh, good. We don't have to skirt around it anymore. I apologize for him inviting himself along.
Well, you should ask him about what his rent contract is.
It is extremely reasonable. I cannot disagree with that.
Speaking of, where's your friend?
Oh, Ivy? I don't know. I think she had some errands to do. Maybe she's at home.
That's a shame. Maybe I should go check.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, it's possible that she's home right now. If you'd like to go check,
Yeah, let's go. You can
Okay.
tell her the good news.
I'll catch up with you in just a moment. We'll discuss the particulars.
We have an
of the-
arrangement. I think we should go now.
It's okay, Antaeus. We can talk later tonight.
What would you like us to bring?
Beverages would be great.
I'll bring some
Anything
wine.
specific? Alcoholic specifically, or?
Well, I would prefer you not to use my bathtub this time, although I do appreciate you cleaning up. That was helpful. But just some wine. I don't know. I guess it depends on how bad Goron's day went. This is all for him.
Oh yes. I'll avoid getting anything with shot symbol on it.
Probably a good idea.
I'll see if they have any Krazkaran wine, but I don't seem too hopeful about that. Be a nice stone bottle. Actually, I should go talk to them next time we're down there about that. If they have anything authentic like that, that would be a good business venture. Anyways, yes, but yes, I suppose you're busy. Would you like us to bring anything else, or just some hearty dwarven alcohol?
Yeah, I think the alcohol will be sufficient.
Excellent. All right. Well, sorry to bother you, but thank you. I suppose we are going to Ivy's place.
Yeah.
All right.
Might as well check in on everybody, right? Except that lousy, mean old dwarf.
Oh, he's not always lousy and mean.
He's definitely always mean.
He's always a dwarf. That much I can attest to. Well, as far as I know, anyways. Then again, I always thought she was a gnome. So, anyways.
All right. Well, I will see you guys a little bit later on.
Indeed.
Around dinner time.
I'll see you then. Thank you.
All right. The two of you can head over to Ivy's place.
Yeah, I'll go open the door.
Hello!
Oh,
Such a pleasant surprise.
hi, Zigvar. What? Onoteus, I was actually needing to talk to you. Hi, what are you guys doing here?
I'm here to deliver the news. This is my new rentee, Antaeus. Maybe you've heard of him?
Yeah, have heard of him.
Yeah, he's renting a place from me.
Oh, are you moving or?
Business purposes.
Yeah, and you're getting quite a deal from this really nice, polite, caring gentleman, aren't you?
Yes, in the whole half an hour that I've been a tenant, my rent is extraordinarily reasonable. So I suppose I have nothing but nice things to say about my landlord.
And he takes good care of all the people that let him get close, doesn't he?
I believe that the nature of his visit is less professional than personal, but you said you had something to.
Excuse me.
Oh, I didn't mean that in a derogatory sense. I just didn't want to be misleading about it.
He gives you like the meanest sense of side eye.
Can I borrow Onoteus for a quick second?
He looks a bit disappointing, but sure. Go ahead.
I assure you, it's not for that.
He'll lean up against the wall as you two step aside.
Yeah, so we can just like step aside out of earshot or into another room or something. And I have an interesting predicament that I'm not quite sure how to deal with. And from my little bit I've had interacting with the group as a whole right now, I think you're the one with the best skill sets to maybe help me figure this out. I'm interested in getting some information from Tehran, and in return, he's asked me to do something odd, and I'm not a good liar, and I don't quite know how to do this.
What information? I guess you don't need to give me the details, but
It's basically my father disappeared at a very young age, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to him. He's presumed dead, but I don't believe he's dead. It's been kind of an ongoing mystery for my entire life, and Tehran thinks he might be able to dig up some information on maybe a lead or something to figure out where he might be, but in return, he kind of wants me to lie to Ninoslav to get information about... I would assume I know that Tehran's last name is Tarpinian.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been said, so I would know that.
Well, if you don't, I have a file about him here.
Yeah, so he said specifically that I should tell Ninoslav that we discovered some notes or documents that relate to the Tarpinian family, and we need to know what happened to them, and it's important to a mission for us to know. But I'm not a good liar, and I'm really not sure how to get this information.
That's interesting that it would be something that's not in his file, I presume, because they gave him a copy of this file not too long ago, and if
he seems to think that Ninoslav maybe is directly related or knows information. I don't know. Some of the words he said was very cryptic, but it made it feel like that Ninoslav maybe had something to do with it or was intimately involved, and Tehran kind of wants to get back at him in some way or something. It was a little odd, but...
Seems vengeful.
Yeah. I didn't know if you had any thoughts or ideas, but you seemed like the best person to maybe bring this up with. It's obviously not something we have to figure out right away, but I was hoping maybe you could help me come up with a plan.
Yes, of course. Now, your family name. I apologize if I don't remember offhand. But what is your family name?
Phelps.
Phelps. Try to like think about that. Is there any kind of well, I suppose you're not local to this area. Is that correct?
Not exactly. I've traveled around from quite a lot. I don't exactly recall where I was born. I believe in this country somewhere, but I've kind of traveled and moved around for a lot of my life.
Well, that's interesting. And you're not of nobility, are you?
Not that I know of.
Give me a moment. Let me ponder about this. Steve, I'm assuming that nobility and local would not apply to this.
Nope, you'll need a knowledge history if you're even lucky.
That's what I was figuring. But before I go and do that, where in the world is this item on my sheet? Ah, yes. Go ahead and drink this.
Okay.
For the day, and then I suppose I don't think I'd be able to take 10 on that, so
nope.
I will use this.
You're not in a library, so you can't take 10 on knowledges.
And that's a beautiful roll. I will go ahead and 25. Not terrible, but I'll see if I can come up with any information about that and kind of corroborate it with her as much as she knows about her family.
Okay. With a 25, you'll know that you've never heard of a Phelps family in anything you've ever seen. You'll know, for certain, you've never seen, even when you were rummaging through the archives in the Ministry building, you never saw any reference to a Phelps family.
Is your family lineage new, or is this something? Because I don't recall the name at all.
I mean, I guess I don't know a ton of history about my family either. I don't really know if it's new or old. My mother died giving birth to me, and my father disappeared at a very young age. I didn't have a lot to learn from.
Do you have any family heirlooms or anything of that nature? Anything that was given to you by either of them?
Only my weapon that I use daily. My father gave it to me.
Perfect. Do you mind if I see that for a moment?
Sure. I'll pull it out and hand it to him.
I'll kind of go over it, and I will go ahead and use one of those. Actually, is the Inspiring Cognition still?
It is.
Perfect. I'm going to take some extra sanity damage.
I am.
Break that 30. What's up?
I am.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I suppose.
I need to adjust in my seat for a second.
Oh, that's good. That's always a good sign.
You touch the weapon, and you focus on whatever you could find deep within it. And a voice calls out to you. Daughter? Daughter, can you hear me? Daughter, are you there?
Hello?
Who are you?
Oh, my name is Antaeus. I'm not your daughter. Do you have a message for her? Who might I ask her name?
Ivy.
And your name?
I don't remember.
So
I know that it's my daughter that carries me. It was my love, and now that I cannot bring him back, she carries me.
Bring him back? You are female?
Yes.
Interesting. I can pass the message along to her if you have one for her.
How can you hear me? I've been trying to scream to her for so long, but she can't hear me.
She's not as in tune with the occult as I am, and affords me such abilities. What? Do you remember anything? Anything at all?
Very little. It's dark. I can't see out of here.
Well, I assure you will... Oh, go ahead.
When everything was happening, everything went wrong. Everything was supposed to be okay, but she's not like most children. I shouldn't have done what I did, but you don't choose what you fall in love with.
Would you like to give me any specifics about any of this?
I don't know how much you can understand.
I can understand a great deal, but I don't know about what you fell in love with or
my husband was not like other people, wasn't other people. We were bonded together. I had known him since I was very young.
Is it normal for... I don't know how much interaction I've had with stuff like this or how much I know offhand, but is it normal for things with memories to retain this much of their memory?
A roll I'm going to give you in a minute will tell you a lot of things.
All right, well, I guess I'll wait for that to happen. You've known him since you were young?
Yes. He's the only thing that's true to me. Well, he and her. So much is missing.
Do you recall his name?
I wish I could. I feel like if I could recall, maybe I could bring him back.
Don't strain yourself if that's stressing you out. I don't intend to try to cause too much strain on you.
I don't know if it is or isn't. I don't know much of anything. It's getting darker.
What message would you like me to send?
I can't. What?
What's the message? Message.
Tell her I love her.
I will.
You open your eyes.
You got a roll to make, Steve, or?
I do have a roll to make.
Speaking of, on this day, I need to go investigate and find somebody that I can speak to about.
And I need a will save from you.
Gee, will hickers.
Okay, you'll only take half of this. I need you to take 6 points of sanity damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like as you're pulling out of there, something is like holding your mind in it. And what's actually happening towards the end there is you are trying to pull yourself out of whatever it is that's trapped within here.
Oh, I didn't realize I was getting pulled into it as I was speaking to it.
Yeah. And once you started realizing, like, okay, I probably need to go, you were like, oh shit, I can't, like, it's not letting me out.
Oh,
But you managed to, like, tear yourself away, and you can feel very jarred as you stand there with your hands on the blade and can see it and Ivy across from you.
Now, for purposes of, like, is there anything ornate about this? I guess, I don't know if I'd be able to use just like an appraise to see if there's anything ornate or like the materials used, perhaps.
Yeah, you can give me an appraise. Ooh. No. Give me a knowledge arcana here as well.
Oh, that. I'm a Viking.
Okay. So looking at this, when you're looking at the appraise, like, you don't see anything specific of value, but you then kind of lift it up and you're like, well, I wonder if there's something arcane about. And you hold it up and you realize that when you're building a spell storing object, you use a very specific style of gem and things. This is not the gem you usually use when you're building spell storing items. This is the kind of gem you use when you're building soul storing items.
Just out of curiosity, Ivy, what are the properties of this blade?
It's just a basic magical spell storing. It has like Arcana level 1 on it.
Does it look like it's trying to be disguised as spell storing then, Steve?
It does. It does indeed. There's actually, like, as you're, give me a detect magic, or you can turn on your detect magic, presumably. Or you don't have detect magic. That's right.
I do not have
detect
magic.
Okay, so there's not much more you can do from here then. You just recognize that gem as being incorrect.
This is not the typical gem that is used for spell storing, which is why I ask. You don't know any other properties about this, do you?
I mean, I haven't specifically looked at it closely. I didn't think there was a reason to. Should I?
Let's see this. What do you know about souls or items that have souls within them?
Nothing.
Yes, that's what I was afraid of. Because I heard of... Oh, by the way, here you go. Hand this back to you.
Yeah, I'll take it back.
Give me a... both of you give me a will save as you're exchanging this item.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. Neither of you will lose any sanity damage, but Ivy, you will hear the words, "I love you."
What the hell was that?
Oh. I'm assuming that you heard a voice.
Yeah, something just said "I love you" to me when I took the sword back.
Oh, yeah, from what I can gather, that's the soul of your mother, or the voice of it.
What?
Oh, yes, yeah, I didn't... That's what I was getting to. I was hoping to lead into that, but didn't expect to spring that on you like such. But, yes, that's... when I was in that trance, I was having a conversation with somebody that claims to be your mother, and she wanted you to know that she loves you, and you don't get to choose who you fall in love with. And she fell in love with your father at a young age, and he's... I don't know what he is. She couldn't remember that. It seems to be causing her some kind of strain, but it alluded to him being something that he didn't appear to be. I don't know exactly what, though.
So you're telling me right now the soul of my mother is stuck in my sword?
Yes, it's actually interesting because the...
Yeah, sure, interesting.
Well, I mean, yes, that for that reason too, of course, obviously. But the spell storing properties, the gem that I was alluding to, it's not the typical gem that's used for that. And it seems to be disguised as a spell storing weapon more than it is an object to store the soul. Where did you got this?
But
this
it
has been with you since
stores
a child?
spells for me. I don't know what you're talking about. It does store spells. I've literally stored spells in it before.
I don't know exactly how that would work, unless it was intended to do that as well, as a way to disguise it from being something that stores souls as
okay.
well.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna set it down, and I will detect magic on this thing.
Yeah. You are looking at it very closely. Give me a knowledge arcana as you're looking at it.
Okay, yeah, well, I can't do that.
Here's the skill incompatibility.
If I know how spell storing typically works, I'll try to show her Like if there's like a particular design or a particular way that it's crafted, I'll
So
try to show her the.
this is a really hard thing to do. It would be like trying to teach somebody to paint when one of you holds the easel, the other one, or one of you like holds the colors, and the other one is holding the brush. But the person holding the brush is blindfolded. And you're required to move your hand like this.
I didn't know if there were particular like designs or something they use when they do spell storing.
There are, but
like
it's
that.
really hard to explain that because you're trying to explain kind of a visual element that she's looking at, but doesn't really know like how the binds run.
Yeah, well, I just was gonna kind of like and hope that she sees the magic lines where
It's almost like if only you could impart skills to her that she could use. You need like a lone skill or something.
How long is it?
Like a
just a
mind
wizard.
link?
It's not even been a day.
Well, if you'd like, in a couple of days, I have an item that I can, or a few items that I've been having commissioned, where we can perhaps look into this a little more cooperatively. Because right now you have one half of the skill set and I seem to have the other. Because I am not able to, unfortunately, detect the magic. But it's hard to show you visually what I'm trying to articulate. But I suppose it's about 3 days. I should have these items before we leave. If you have some time, I wouldn't mind showing you.
Yeah, of course. This is extremely bizarre. Don't.
Yes, it is. I suppose if I have some free time, over the next couple of days, I could do some research on it. Though I am pretty booked because of this book situation and all the other endeavors going on. But I'll attempt to make some time for it if I have to kind of look into it prior to that. Actually, I wonder. Just out of curiosity, did you have any more questions or anything at the moment, or?
Can I speak up for a moment?
That's exactly where I was going to go next. I assume you've been eavesdropping.
I'd say I couldn't help but overhear, but I always help and overhear. And I noticed that you're in need of an excuse to tell your higher up. What if I told you I could make Nina Slav owe me a favor?
Speaking of favors, I don't remember if I had given him the dragon scales that I was trying to get.
I don't think we made that exchange yet, no.
Okay. Oh, speaking of which, I'll pull out what I have on me. Like, I assume I didn't get too many from Ian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll ask if I could keep a small one for myself for study purposes. Yes, I almost forgot about these.
He'll take them.
Going on. But go on. My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I have a little favor left over. If you need some information about something, I might be able to work it out.
I mean, I do. I'm just not sure how to obtain the information. I'm not good at lying about things, and I don't exactly want to try to deceive my boss. That seems a little risky for my job.
I don't think you need to. I happen to be a person who often has access to the right strings, sometimes at the right time, and you saying Ninaslav, that is all I need to hear.
I assume Turon doesn't exactly care how I obtain the information as long as I obtain the information.
Oh, this would also be a favor for Turon.
I mean, he's doing a favor for me, and this is the payment I have for that, so kind of, yes.
Yes, when you get interwoven with the two of us, you'll find favors tend to be how we deal in a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm beginning to see that. It's quite uncomfortable, actually.
I mean, I could give you more comfortable favors if that would be helpful.
If you're going to do that, I believe I should take my leave then.
She's not interested anyway. Especially since you're a terrible wingman.
I don't What? I don't have those kinds of spells.
What?
I don't think
What are you
he's
talking
got
about?
spells on a oh my gosh.
See what I mean?
Like everything literally?
It
Is
seems
there a
to
reason
be.
not to?
It seems like he does. I don't think
Like
he
the most
understands.
effective way. Seems like the most effective way to communicate, does it not? To be
No,
direct
it's
and forward.
not when other people aren't being. Oh my gosh, Anate, just let me know when you're able to help me with this sword. I would really appreciate that.
No problem. I would be sure to keep you abreast of the situation.
Zigmar tries really hard not to chuckle, but does.
You could definitely probably have one of those moments where me and Zigmar just both like lock eyes for a second. We're both like, okay.
Good choice of words.
Okay.
So I think, as a matter of good faith, and to show that I am not the. I can't even say this properly without cracking a smile. To show that I'm not as self-absorbed as maybe everybody here might think, I think I can acquire the information that you're looking for. And since I have this new partner in a business, I think it would be very easy for me to pull just the right strings. All I need you to do is very, very simple. I just need you to make sure that if Antaeus doesn't tell me when you guys are having a party, you tell me when you guys are having a party.
I can do that.
Very good. Then I think we can work something out.
Yes. If we weren't able to gather as much, he has decided to grace us with his presence again at this party. But yes.
I was invited this time.
Eventually, yes, that is true. That is factual. Eventually, that is a fact, or became a fact.
You know what,
yes.
Zigmar, if you can help me get this information for Tehran so that hopefully I can get the information I need from Tehran, you can be my personal +1 to every party we have.
See, I'm not such a bad wingman.
It's all one word, not two words.
Does he know what this means?
No, I don't think he
knows
does.
what that means.
Very well. I will take you up on this offer. I must do things very carefully, though, so it might take me a couple of days to set things in motion.
Should be fine. I think it's going to take Tehran a few days anyways as well to be able to acquire the information he needs.
Excellent. In the meantime, I have a bottle of wine to fetch.
Ah, yes. I suppose we should do that.
Yeah, and let's take a short break. When we come back, maybe dinner party, I think, right?
Hopefully less blood than last time.